let's speak about China retail sales of passenger NEVs. Let's speak about xpeng, Li Auto, Nio, Tesla. Let's speak about BYD. Let's speak about everything. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today I want to do a little update of everything going on in the Chinese EV market. We've gotten some really big numbers come out over the last week or so in regards to all of the big players, and we're getting some really positive numbers in general coming out of China. So we're going to speak about it all today, baby. We're going to have a little bit of a focus on Tesla towards the end, because some big headlines came out both today and yesterday that I think investors need to be aware of. Now, if you've been following along the Chinese EV market at all, you'll be aware that they are basically leading the world in the transition to NEVs on the road. They are absolutely smashing it. They're beating Europe. They are beating the US. They are smashing it. And I think that's why we need to spend a little bit more time looking at the trends that are happening over there, so that we can try and predict when they're going to come over to the likes of the US and the likes of Europe. But really quickly, my friends, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? I appreciate everybody showing the support on the channel as of late. You guys are all true legends. And if you watch this video, get some value from it, enjoy it, please consider subscribing and just come back for more content. That's all I ask. So to start it off, China retail sales of passenger NEVs rises 58.2% year over year in November. Now, whenever we see a number like this, I think it's so important to remember just how much they've grown 2021 over 2020 as well, because 58% is a huge number. But if that was compared to 2020, for example, or really go back to 2019, that would now be hundreds and hundreds worth of percentage point. It's absolutely huge. So retail sales of new energy passenger vehicles, so NEV, so this is not just BEVs, has to be kept in mind, in China grew 58.2% year over year to just shy of 600,000 units in November, according to the data released by the China Passenger Car Association. Compared to October, China's NEV retail sales grew 7.8%, and here's a nice chart representing it. So China passenger NEV retail sales. The green bars here are 2022 and the orange are 2021. And I mean, if you just take that most recent November number compared to early 2021, so January had about 160,000, February sub 100,000, that growth is absolutely immense. And again, those 2021 numbers were immense compared to 2020 numbers. So the growth spike really is happening right now. It's almost like a huge transitionary period for Chinese NEVs, which is very exciting. Now, the markets have been absolutely crazy for EV stocks as of late. Not even just EV stocks, but EV stocks in general. If you look at the Chinese one today, XPeng is up 7.5%, Nio 6.6%, Li Auto 7.26%. Tesla's not on this chart, but they're up a little bit today. Oh no, they're actually down now since I've started recording, down about 0.5 percentage point. But the Chinese market's been going crazy, and anything can happen on any given day. Tomorrow they could be red for no reason whatsoever. It almost feels like 2020 again, except with a lot more red days. But we are seeing absolutely huge swings. We saw it earlier on in the week as well. Lucid had a really big red day. Tesla had a big red day. So it's not just the Chinese EV stocks either. It's a crazy market again. 434,000 units sold at retail in November. Battery electric vehicles accounted for the majority of NEV sales, so that is important. And plug-in hybrid vehicles accounted for 27.4% of all NEV sales, with 164,000 units sold. We'll speak about the breakdowns here specifically when we get into Tesla and BYD being the two biggest by an absolute long mile. We'll kind of get a better understanding of where exactly those numbers are coming from. Retail sales of all passenger vehicles in China were 1.65 million units in November, down 9.2% year on year, and 10.5% from October. The first time since 2008 that figure has declined sequentially. And I mean, considering that the NEV numbers are going up, that's kind of a very good sign for us. At retail, China's NEVs reached a record 36.3% penetration rate, up 15 percentage points from 20.8 in the same month last year. NEV's penetration rate among local Chinese brands was 56.5%. A lot of this coming down to BYD. Luxury brands was 32.1%, and mainstream joint venture brands was only 5.2%. From January to November, retail sales of new energy passenger vehicles in China are up 5.03 million units, or 100% year over year. Absolutely huge numbers coming out of China right now, my friends, and it really is exciting. But what does this mean for investors? Well, I think first of all, it's important to understand where these numbers really are coming from, because if it wasn't for BYD, they would be very different. So Xpeng reported 5,800 monthly deliveries. This was terrible for them, down 63% year over year. But funnily enough, this led to a lot of the EV stocks over in China going up because they basically improved bottom lines, or forecasted improved bottom lines. Li Auto saw deliveries of just over 15,000 vehicles. That was a record high monthly delivery, up 11.5% year over year. So that's 15,000 of the total amount being just sub 600,000. So again, growth here, but it's nothing insane. And Nio delivered 14,178 vehicles, up 30.3% year over year, and again setting a new high for those monthly deliveries. So there's clear trends happening here. Even the smaller players are growing at a very, very nice pace. But if we look at this, China's BYD, backed by Warren Buffett, sold 230,000 all-electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles in November, up 153% versus a year ago, and 5.8% versus October. So 113,000 vehicles of BYDs were all-electric vehicles. So that's an important number to know as well. That is up 147% versus the same month last year. And then plug-in hybrids shot up to 116,000. So absolutely huge from BYD here, my friends. And if you want to look at Tesla, their China-made vehicles declined by 12.85% sequentially, as the EV major delivered 62,500 vehicles in November, while a Shanghai plant exported 37,800 vehicles. Now, this is quite an interesting one, because if you look at this, Tesla usually produces cars for export in the first half and cars for local delivery in the second half of every quarter at this plant. So quite interesting that we're seeing this aggressive, really. But you can still see that the sales in comparison to even your Nios are very, very considerable. Going by Tesla's vehicle delivery numbers in China in November, the EV giant cornered a just over 10% share of the Chinese EV market, which is good, but some investors are going to be disappointed with, honestly. And then we get this headline just today: Tesla to shorten shifts at Shanghai factory and to postpone hiring push. So this begs the question, why? Why is this happening for Tesla right now? They dipped in pre-market after the second report this week from Bloomberg suggesting demand in China may not be as robust as the automaker anticipated. Now, the demand quite evidently is robust. We see Tesla sales are huge over there, just behind BYD, or I believe there is one other company, I can't think of their name, it begins with a W, but it's just behind the two of them. But according to Bloomberg, Tesla will reduce worker schedules and has postponed the onboarding of new hirees. The new regimen, consisting of 2 9.5-hour shifts per day as opposed to 2 11.5-hour shifts, could be introduced as soon as December 12th. To be short, Tesla China said reports from both Reuters and Bloomberg on planned production cuts were untrue on Monday. The company did not respond to Seeking Alpha's request for comment. So it's difficult to know exactly what's happening here. I don't see why they would. The Shanghai factory is doing fantastic, especially now that they're going to be busy, you know, producing semi-trucks, hopefully for Tesla. It seems like quite an odd thing to happen right now. Maybe in the future, yes, but right now it does seem odd. And if we look at the general projections for EV sales in China, we can see that, again, we expect really nice growth to happen, especially going into 2023, 2024. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. There's no reason for these things to slow down anytime soon. But my friends, that's just an update. I wanted to make this one because these are the kind of statistics that, if you know them, you know, when you're going out there and doing your own research into whether it is Chinese EV stocks or EV stocks in general, it's good to know them, and it makes the whole research process that little bit easier, in my opinion. And also, if you're going to be watching more of my videos, these are the kind of statistics that we will bring up, you know, for comparison purposes. It's important to know what's going on, especially, say, for example, you're just a big Tesla bull. You still want to know what the competition is doing, what their numbers and their growth looks like. So hopefully you were able to get some value from it anyway. If you did, again, please do just hit that like button, comment down below if you want to, and subscribe if you got some value and want more videos from me. That's all I ask, my friends. Anyway, guys, if you watched all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. I hope you have a good weekend coming up. I'll see you up in another video very soon. Peace.